And this is a really important one, is to have a team. Because if you do this on your own, it's very easy to, once you become successful, this stuff becomes very addictive. And it's very easy to become a workaholic in this industry. It happened to me. I was lucky enough to escape from that trap. And the whole reason we get into real estate investing is to create freedom for ourselves, not just financial freedom, but time freedom, location freedom, the freedom to hang out with whoever you want, whenever you want. And one of the keys to doing that is to create passive income and to have teams and systems in place. So team is extremely important. It's very important to build your power team. And most people can't do that on their own. They see it as being a lot of work. I teach people how to invest remotely. You don't have to invest in your own backyard. You can invest in places that make more sense. I take people to where the deals are. That's as your Sherpa, I'm going to take you to where you're going to make money. And doing stuff in your own backyard is often not where the money is. So if you want to invest remotely, though, you have to have people in place that can help you do that. Otherwise, you're going to be on a lot of airplanes. You're going to be away from family for long, long periods of time when you try to build your power team. So you really need to learn how to delegate. You need to put systems in place that's going to allow you to scale your business and make more money passively. And it's an essential step to truly making your retirement possible. So without it, you could be stuck doing all the work. You might have a lot of money in your bank. And I certainly can relate to that because at one point in my career, as I mentioned, I was a workaholic. I was putting in way too many hours. And ironically, when I started to build teams to get myself some of my time back, the more people I put on my team and the less I worked, the more money I started to make, because I was the bottleneck in my business. I was the one slowing things down. Now I've got a whole bunch of people working with me and for me. And the good news is I share them with my students. So you don't even have to go build a team. You can actually adopt my teams. And I have them all over North America, all over Canada, and all over the United States. I've got teams that I built that are familiar with just about any strategy in real estate you can imagine. Everything from multifamily to tax deeds to passive income, rentals, you name it. I've got people on my team that are doing that for me and also my students. So as I mentioned, I used to work hard for my money. Now I work smart. And that's why I came up with a SMART method, because working smart is a key to having not just, as I mentioned, the financial freedom, but if you don't have the time freedom to enjoy it, what's the point of having a bunch of money if you're just working all day and everything else around you is falling apart? So I'll give you some tips if you do want to build your own teams. Number one, you need to find somebody in the market that you want to work in that is like an A player, meaning he is the best, or he or she is the best at what they do. Because A players hang out with other A players. So if you find a really good realtor, pretty good chance they also know a really good property manager. And if they introduce you a good property manager, they probably know some really good people that can do renovations on your homes and be your contractors. So the good news is it's not as difficult as it seems. However, your first team, there's probably going to be some flaws, and you're probably going to have to hire people, fire people, replace them. And that's the advantage of using my tried and true teams that I've been using for years. I've built my dream teams. I've had to go through the growing pains. And like I said, sometimes I never like to do it, but sometimes I have to get rid of people, replace them. You don't have to do any of that because I'm actually going to give you my own dream team that you can utilize yourself. And like I said, I've got them in numerous different markets and doing numerous different strategies. So, as I mentioned, if you work with me, you get to adopt instead of build. And that is a huge time saver, and it gets you your paychecks a whole lot faster if you're not spending countless hours trying to find and build a team with the right people. So those are the 5 key strategies to my SMART method of real estate. This method has made it possible for my teams and I to effortlessly do thousands of real estate transactions over the years. It's also the reason why many of my students have bought and sold millions of dollars in real estate this year alone. And let's quickly recap. You want to use the SMART method, which involves getting started. You want to basically look at what resources you've got, figure out, with my help or somebody's help, figure out, well, how do you implement those resources to find the right strategy for you. Then you're going to take action. You have to, once you do all the due diligence, you figure out what the path is to the top. then you've actually got to take action. You got to start that march to the top. And like I said, I'll be there with you along the way. And then once you find something that works, repeat. Now we're also going to teach you more strategies so that you have more tools in your tool belt. You don't have to stick with just one. But if you have a team, it becomes effortless to repeat because the team is doing all the work for you, and they already know what they're doing. So, for example, I've got teams in Houston, Texas, where we do our tax deeds, and the teams actually go to the auction for you. So now you're working smart, not hard. The teams are doing all the work, almost all the work for you. There's still a little bit of work you need to do, but the teams are doing the vast majority of it. And so while you have that running on autopilot, then you learn the next strategy, and you put the next team onto that strategy, and you keep doing that until you're making probably a lot more money than you're making today. So that is a smart method. That's how you get going, and it's worked extremely well for me and numerous amounts of my students, and I know it can work for you too. Hey, Mike Wolf here. Today I'm in a place called Bansko, which is in Bulgaria, Eastern Europe, and this is my first time here. I've been traveling around Europe for a couple of months now, and this is, I think, my 7th country so far, and many more to come. But it's all possible because of the passive income I've created through real estate. So if you want to learn how to do this too, make sure you click the link below. We'll have a conversation to see if my Wolf Pack, which is my mentorship program, is right for you.